What's on the shelf? Rig rundown. Every few weeks or so, I'll pull a car off the shelf. We'll go over some of its features and some of its history. Each one of these cars has its own story to tell, so stay tuned for more videos. Welcome back for the second installment of What's on the Shelf Rig Rundown. This is my 8-second Breakout truck. And if you're not familiar with Breakout racing, it's basically if you run faster than the allotted time, you broke out. Breaking out means you went a lap down. A lot of people loved it, a lot of people hated it, but the beauty of the class was you didn't have to have the best of the best equipment to compete. It was a level playing field. This car here is actually a 96 or 97 Parma Phase 1. I bought this car used from Dave at IRS. I don't know a lot of the backstory when he had it, but the last 3 years at King, I ran it on the Speedway and Breakout truck, and it was a very successful truck. It did really well on the concrete. It has a pretty unique suspension setup. I ran a RJ Speed oval truck body. It's very similar to the Protoform ORT, but I wanted to be a little different, and this body worked really well on the outdoor track. We did run a small spoiler, a little side dam for side force. And if you're familiar with racing concrete oval, always cut the back out. That seemed to be a handling fix. If you leave the back in these things, especially the cars but running faster speeds, coming off of turn 4 at King especially, the car would get a little light, and you cut the back of the body out and it created some sort of downforce or some sort of diffuser type action, and it would straighten you up quite a bit. Under the hood is how I got it from Dave. It's the only thing I did get the car and clean it up, clear coated the chassis to preserve it. That is the servo, the Futaba servo that was in it when Dave sold it to me. Same front end. The only thing I changed was the center shock and added my electronics. Now this is as it came off the track minus the receiver. Ran a Hobby Wing Just Stock speed control, very inexpensive. Don't have to have the best of the best for Breakout. Ran a 13.5 R1, overkill for Breakout, but we adjusted our speed with gearing and endpoint adjustments. Probably running about 80% on my endpoint with a LifePo battery. I've run LiPos, LifePo, Life, and the LifePo battery in truck was very consistent. 8 seconds throughout the whole run if you're hitting your marks. We did run 10-minute mains, and like I said, we adjusted our speed with our endpoints, so our endpoints, well, as we would fall off towards the end of the race, we would click it up a few clicks to keep it at a consistent 8.0 to the end. And guys got really good at it. They were running 8.0s down to the last lap in a 10-minute main. So it got highly competitive, even though it was Breakout, inexpensive, not having the best of the best. It was all on you, the driver. Like I said, the setup is pretty interesting. It's similar to a Trinity. It's a monoball with one link. So it worked really well on the bumpy, inconsistent concrete surfaces. The pod was very similar to an Associated 10L SS, but it was aluminum instead of the plastic parts. The front end was your run-of-the-mill Associated with just aluminum camber blocks. We ran BSR cap tires. There was no rule on the tires. Another beauty of the class, you didn't have to run a specific anything. This had to be a pan car and a truck body if you run trucks, and a car body if you ran cars. These are spec caps. They are nets on the right side. The right side tires did take a pretty good beating, so we did run nets on the right side. The chassis, as you would expect, running concrete, got a little beat up. Night racing, the screws with those sparks, which was pretty cool, being a mini trucker and all. Like I said, Breakout, Parma Phase 1, 1996-97, what's on the shelf. So stay tuned and for the next installment. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, and there will be more coming. Thank you.